Hey folks, Nick Tuckert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Before we get into the program, first, thank you for your slight patience. I had a little bit of a situation I had to address that popped up right before I could stream. It is settled. Everything is good. Nothing to worry about. However, before I can get into the show, I do have some bills to pay. So I would like to remind you that we are made possible with the generous support from our good friends over at the Independent Creator Directory, your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, artists, musicians, and creatives of all flavor. Using Podcast One, you can get half off your one-time membership to join and have access to that great background service. We are also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear, all part of my ongoing series of Western martial arts manuals designed to help you go from having never handled the sword to teaching the art to others. The waiver is down at the bottom because I was asked about that offline behind the scenes. Martial arts are still inherently dangerous, and waving 3-foot-long metal swords is too. We are also made possible by our patrons, Off in the Woods, Frog G, Ronald Rain, Bladed Thesis, I have to fix that name in the check, Brian K. Morris, Cindy Cap, and Steve Augusto, my OG. Nothing but love to you, Steve. These people are members of my Patreon, which I have to get that logo put up, don't I? Yes, I do. The other thing is, if you do go to Purple Heart Armory, please use this link with this chunk at the end. I get a small percentage back as my affiliate link, but more importantly, they know that my viewers are coming to them from me. So when I say my viewers have been asking about something, we will get into it. And I tend to listen a bit better, which is good because they're great people over there. I'm all about supporting small businesses. I'm all about shopping as local as possible. And I really approve of what they do. So it fails down to that. Now, this week we do have some things I want to discuss. A little bit of news, some interesting points that actually feed back to PHA, which I will take a moment to set up. If it will let me, thank you. And I'll move this over here so I can do that. Yes, excellent. Want to be able to show that. Normally this would have been set up before, but like I said, I am a little behind. There we go. Now, so I have some stuff I want to talk about over there. We do have some news. First off is a bit local to Illinois folks who are involved with AmpGuard. Travis, and I can't remember his last name, but he's kind of the acting king of the Illinois AmpGuard group, has come into possession of a reasonable number of the foam blades for the AmpGuard swords, and he is selling them at cost because he wanted to get a deal for his people. He's cool like that. And so I was talking to him on some unrelated things, yay Nerf, and that came up. And I said, you know what? I'll pass the word around. Maybe we can get some more information. I believe they're going for $15 a piece, which they are the nice squashed octagon blade types. They don't have cores, but really something to look into if you are doing the AmpGuard. You know, I hate to say advanced buffering, but it is basically advanced buffering. They're doing a lot of work, and I will say, comparative definitely to what we encountered many years ago, AmpGuard fighting has improved quite a bit and continues to improve. And several of them have bought my books, so they should continue to improve even farther. If you do end up doing something about that, please tell him Nick sent you. If anything, because I like him to know that I'm out here bucking for him. In other related news to what we do, basically out of nowhere, a YouTube channel advertising a new Chinese 5-fingered gauntlet has come out called Nilin, Nilin. I'm not sure on the copyrightness for me to show the video, but if you look that up on YouTube, you can find it. It's something I will be following because it looks like a Chinese knockoff of the Pro Gauntlets that are done by Purple Heart Armory. And as the Purple Heart Armory Pro Gauntlets are remarkably nice for fingered gauntlets, we'll look into them in a minute. The problem is there are usually shortages, and the pricing is rather severe. In that last I saw, they were around $400 a piece. I need to check up on that, and instead of doing it before the show, because like I said, had some last minute chaos, we have after the show. So during the show, so I'll be looking into that in a bit, and we'll do our usual Purple Heart Armory cruise. I also had it pointed out to me that this is a little out there, but bear with me. Elden Ring players, you who like to suffer the FromSoft method, there has been an update that actually involves light greatsword. This information was given to me by our own Rex Allen Hood. Al sent me that, and His Honor? Is it His Honor out? I'm never sure which of his titles are active at this point. But and real life titles, not like Lord What's-a-Jigget in Society. But he shared that, and it's really much more Meyer. Yes, this is how I think, Meyer. Meyer and other more established greatsword fighters, rather than the kind of aimless, overpowered, overweight swooshing that you find. It's interesting. We are in an era where accuracy is starting to become very important in even things like video games, which was a very rare concept for a long, long time, especially for swordsmanship-related games. Now, I'm mentioning this because a lot of us are overlap and there's interest. I know it's a little off the beaten path for what we normally discuss, but I do think it's valid and important to know. If this is something, this content is too far afield, let me know, and I will narrow things back down. But it seems to overlap. And if you're looking for more realistic gaming experiences, there are a couple games that can be recommended. I cannot remember what the VR game is offhand, but it's very good. There's also one called Hellish Quart, which is very, very brutally realistic, using weapons as they are intended to in game. So I want to put that out there because we are always influenced by the films and the games that we play. And instead of foolishly trying to remove that influence, I want to try to find the most accurate. And I go way back. I used to play a game called Bushido Blade, which didn't even have life bars. It wasn't perfect, but Soul Calibur has some really great these standard moves. If you ignore the power moves, as they're ridiculous, you can see some actually good techniques were coded in. So as we lean into that, we can find more influence and more resources. I'm sorry, I'm having a curly spastic hair day, and I couldn't find a hair tie, so I am being just assaulted by my curls. I apologize if I'm waving my hands a lot in my own face. I want to talk, but after I hit the comments, about fingered gauntlets in general, because there's some misnomers that I think need to be discussed. They are awesome, but with a huge set of caveats. And whenever they come up and become popular, I need to kind of reassess and re-mention this for people who maybe weren't around the last time this cycled through. There we go. So I want to talk about that. I want to go over any basic trainers, I want to talk about. I have shot some video, both for some stuff on my other channel, and I've shot some video for the Historical Fencing Guild. I have to process that, and I am hoping to get that up real soon because I have some long-term reviews that are desperately needed to be out there. Some points of discussion, and I want to make sure all this is available to you, especially you, my beloved patrons, who have dealt with a kind of lull in the a lot of the content that's been up on Patreon. I spent a while where, due to a bizarre, frankly, the same group that tries to hack me incessantly on IndieCD apparently has been trying to hack me through my Patreon account. And it's actually made logging in remarkably difficult. So I'm trying to work around that. While I do, I'm making content so that I should be able to do a nice content dump up there, and they'll get first crack, and then it will rattle down. I am seriously debating inviting some folks over of the local guild types. By local, I mean about 100-mile radius, to help me cut down the basically jungle that has risen up in my backyard, and take any advice and or donations of money or gear to upgrade the backyard so we can get fighting again. Due to some of the things that happened in my neighborhood, I was not permitted to go in large portions of my yard for quite some time. And around here, all it takes is a few days to have 6-foot-tall, I'm not being facetious, weeds. So I want to get that set up. And if it's something we can work out, I would love to work that out with the local guild types. I know not necessarily the funnest thing, but with a bunch of us, it should not take terribly long to get things back into a start of fighting form, and then we can rebuild from there. We did not expect the neighbor's house to catch fire the way it did, and it did throw some things for a loop. Now, before I go any farther into my program, I want to hop on to the comments because I'm way behind. I want to check who's here and make sure that there aren't any other pressing issues or questions, and then we will move forward, if that's all right with everybody. So let me hop over to the comments. And I noticed that Cindy just came in, even though it's at the end. Hi, Cindy. Here we go. First through the door at 7:30, Alex Creation. Good evening. Good evening. I'm going to pop in and out tonight, trying to get myself out of my head. So I'm working on a big digital project I've been holding off on. Excellent, Alec. I mean, that's a great way to apply yourself when you're having problems. Put yourself to work. And remember, if you need physicality, drills are there for reasons. Do your footwork drills, which reminds me, I still need to get you the circle and the cross drills from the old Spanish stuff. We will see. And Foxy's here. Hello, Foxy. That's fine. I was making dinner anyways. Okay. And Lisa says, you know we have your back, Alec, and that's beautiful. I'd give you a hug if we were closer, obviously. We're also full of such randomness to help distract. Glad to hear. And right now I'm doing a character update and a piece redraw that with that character update, he's going to have dreads. This isn't Nitsu. It's his fictional half that isn't Garb. Oh, my. That's scandalous, Alec. Okay. Oh, fun. Yeah, I might post my works in progress on YouTube community page. Not yet. Not sure yet. Well, you do what you're comfortable with. Up to you. And a friend of mine said this piece would look good in a comic. I'm like, I mean, it's semi-related to this channel. I guess he's holding a sword. You know, good. What you're doing now, Alec, is, and this is part of why I do this channel, as an artist and as a creator, if you're going to write and draw media involving swords, please research them so that you can use techniques that are rooted, at least, in something believable, and you can do depictions that make sense. All of us who have some idea what's going on will thank you from the bottom of our black little hearts. And Alex says, I'm all over the place as well, if you can't tell. That happens to the best of us and the worst of us and me. Let's see. I'm sorry, we're having a little technical issues too. Swords are good and you're fine. I follow roller coaster of thought. Well, you're in good company. Everything is better with swords. And Alec is sending a sneak peek thesis. Thank you. And that was me warning there was a slight delay to give a couple minutes. No worries. And we're not going anywhere. All good. Technical difficulties. Oh, you are so accurate. Send them to you, Nick. Sent them to you, thesis. Nick's technical difficulties got sent over to me. Oh, the Nick field is spreading. It happens. It's a family tradition. It does that. Checking them now, thankfully. So thus far, we are mostly immune and have played a little bit of the Hellish Court demo. It was fun. Glad to hear that. I want to hear people's opinions on things like that and games. I am terrible at remembering the names of maneuvers. It's just vocabulary does not stick in my brain. It never has. I understand the concepts. I understand the applications. I understand how to get into them and how to get out of them. I understand what they're used for. Ask me their name and you'll get just this beep. It's one of my weaknesses. That's why I try to keep things as bonehead simple as possible. And we're joined by our wide traveling martial artist, the lovely Cindy Cap. Hi, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Cindy. I hope you are doing well. Hey, Cindy, and I'm all packed up and ready for Art Mart tomorrow. Nice. Best of luck. Nice, Cindy. And here's the chat, the link for tonight. Hey, Cindy. Waves. Tune into the Historical Fencing Guild Friday nights at 7 p.m. That's the channel. And art from Nick at deviantart.com/NickT. There will be a delay in me uploading as I have nearly filled up my space on DA with over 2,000 images. I'm going to have to make a very, very safe set of backups and pull things down from DA, which makes me very uncomfortable because some stuff has been up there over 20 years. Woo! Support the Historical Fencing Guild at patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild. And, I need that website for Alec. Okay, I'm not sure which website you meant, but okay. And you can find some cool books on swords, axes, and spears, and melees and other stompy things. Amazon.com/store/Mr. Nicholas Anthony Talkert II /author B07P26PSF3. And what's this? Bond of the Sword is out. If you want to read about medieval and Renaissance warfare and dueling, and so get it. Yes, please. Yes. I will have to come back and get that link from you. And when Suitable Arrangement and Heart of Sacrifice are released, 2 more books with swordliness happening. Swordliness is next to godliness, at least according to me. Mwaha, mwahaha. And sent them to you, thesis. I think the PNG sent once I decided to compress the file size. Isn't that the way it goes? A lot of times for quick sends, I just will save things as a JPEG. And, PNG for the folks who need the precision detail. Good evening, Miss Saren. How are you doing? It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. And we have greetings from Miss Saren and greetings from Miss Saren. And it looks like I've caught up with you guys. Excellent. So I can get into the next topic. And I want to bring up stuff I know I'm allowed to share. So I am going to bring this up. Boop. Okay, come over here for a moment. No, I don't have questions for you, Christian, but let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, it's not because of the way I'm doing it. You can't see my my panels. we'll worry about that later, as long as I can get it to work. And I bet I won't. I bet it's going to be difficult. But Hemagear. Okay, and hand protection, gloves, heavy duty. Interesting. Now, what you're going to see is a lot of these are considered clamshells, which are these full kind of boxing glove looking gloves. These are going to give you the most protection. However, there are some variants where you have split gloves, and those are the lobsters. Here we go. Yeah, the hoof gloves, which give you a hybrid between your traditional clamshell and your fingered gauntlets. Now, there is a problem with fingered gauntlets. I mean, there's obviously some good for them. Wow. Wait a second. I am confused. Because I was expecting the Pro Gaunts to be here. And I am not seeing Pro Gaunts at all. I'm seeing something called Infinity Gloves. Made. No. Did that come up on yours? Okay, it didn't come up on yours. Cool. But they're clocking in between $230 and $300. The last time I saw, let me see if they are still offered. Pro Gaunt? Well, I typoed that, didn't I? Yes, I did. I typoed that. That's the joy of dyslexia, folks. You get to look like a Yutz on live television. And I'm looking forward to getting into the Cindy's things, but I want to see if I can find. Really? That is fascinating. Because they must have switched gloves, which is something I've noticed. Cool. So I'm going to come up for a second. Fingered gauntlets are sort of oftentimes a holy grail for Western martial artists because they give the most flexibility and control, especially for very certain styles. Now, they come at the cost of strength because while you have more flex, the hazard is that these fingers are all individual, and you get the individual lateral snap as an option. And that's one thing I talk about what we do. I talk about the armor, but I always want to make sure to fully disclose the possible hazards. And one of the biggest hazards I've seen is in finger and hand injuries. Many times people will have finger and hand breaks and not even know they did it. So you have to be careful and wear the heaviest grade of protection you can. Now, when you get a clamshell, you have a regular glove under it and a clamshell that goes over it. And optimally, it domes and extends a little bit past the base of your fingers so that when you curl it and it articulates, it is marginally the same size or almost smaller than your grip. And what that does is it causes it to contact the hilt material, especially in like SCA fighting. And it gives you enough wiggle room that you can still adjust your grip without moving the outside. And blows that hit aren't absorbed by the hand. It goes down the dome, and the force goes into the hilt, making it protecting the squishy, delicate bits. Most of you in my chat are artists of some kind or musicians, people who use their hands for delicate means. Please be very protective of your hands, both in the weapons you choose and in the weapons that you and in the gear that you use. I just remembered that I have another announcement that was passed down that I'll have to snag, but we'll talk about that in a bit as well. I didn't fully forget; it just slipped off my mind for a bit. So when you go, you want to look at what gives you the best mobility versus protection. And I am intrigued by the lobster gloves because I think that's a neat balance. A lot of it boils down to what you're comfortable with. And matching, again, your armor should match your opposition. Okay? So I want to stop and pause that discussion because I think everybody gets that, but that's one of those I want to make sure I'm driving home. Because selecting gear has changed so much, and getting gear has changed so much since I first wrote the Simple Sword. My screen's going black. Why is that? That it needs an update, and I really have to think on how I'm going to update that, because my teaching style, my writing style has changed quite a bit since I did that kind of masterwork. That was basically my capstone of college, written quite a bit, published quite a bit later. It was the culmination of 15 years, I think, of study then. And now we are barreling towards 20 years of the Simple Sword. Wow, by the way. That's a thing. So I really want to keep in mind and keep in touch with the gear. I also want to warn you to please beware imitators. You want to buy your armor from a reputable dealer or individual. It's very hard to just order online because you have to trust a lot. There's a lot of trust. At any time you're looking at triple-digit figures, you are going to just slam into a lot of opportunity for scamming. A lot of bootlegs are out there. A lot of other options are out there. I may have to reach out to Christian and ask some interesting questions about that. We shall see. But I want to make sure that you guys have access to the best materials at the best prices. And if you are crafty enough, please remember that the Armor Archive still exists, armorarchive.org. I believe it's spelled, you know what? I can do this. Armor Archive.org. Let me see if that's going to work. We also have a holiday weekend, so a lot of things are it's not considered secure, and it's an old. This was originally an old SCA site, but let me bring that up. Here we go. There are a lot of essays. There are a lot of pattern archives for making different things. Almost all of this is geared towards traditional materials. Oh, God. My feed is just terrible. I'm sorry. Due to the holiday, the internet is really, really problematic. And I am fighting it best I can, but it is what it is. So you can look and find very good armor designs for making what you need. They're dated, but they still work, and it's free. There are other archives that you can get into. I just rather like this as a resource, so I try to keep that in mind if you're looking to build. And if you find good resources, please send them to me so that I can pass them along. Also, preferred vendors. Now, I want to get in because Cindy has been on a bit of a mission in that she went to a martial arts competition in Florida. And she's been in the chat giving us the lowdown, so to speak, of what happened. I've been very excited about this. So what I'm going to do is greet a couple of people who came in the middle of Cindy's explanations, because that's just how that works. And then we're going to go back and we're going to go through what Cindy's been up to so that you guys who are listening to us and not following along in the chat don't have to follow along in the chat. Because I've been told people like to do this while driving. Listen to my things often while driving. So, skipping briefly a few things, and we're going to go Silver Ogre. Hello! You actually, Silver, I'm running the RPG for the teens at my local library, and your ogre was recently discovered again, and it made me think of you, sir. It's good to see you. And Thesis is greeting Silver, saying, "Looking very Dave Stewart, Nick." Thank you. This is what happens when it's humid and I don't comb my hair out. And we got greetings, and we have greetings. So I think that's where we are. That's off topic. Pardon my nose itch. Yes. And we will go through Cindy's adventures because I am excited. And I think you guys might like seeing me react to Cindy's adventures. So here we go. Oh, wait, no, that's her books. Please go to ckoepp.com. And here we go. ICMAC was fun. If you follow me on Facebook, you've heard of the major points. For open hand forms, my form was too simple, so I didn't score well, but I executed it well. For the fan form, I missed bronze medal by 0.03 points. Oh, you were robbed, Cindy. I am completely biased, but I say you were robbed. But you still did well, Cindy, and you should be proud. I agree. Push hands, fixed step. I got my rear end handed to me twice. First time, there were only two of us, so I got silver anyway. Second time, I came in 4th of 4, but I actually did manage to get points. That matters. And this is your first performance. This is your first tournament in these styles. It's going to be so educational comparative to your second. I'm so proud of you. And, okay, let's see. I'm sorry. Give me a moment. Like I said, the technical issues. There was a moving step push hands exhibition match. I volunteered to play because the official competitor was my teammate. I actually did better at moving step, but I only scored half as many points. Still, the judges awarded me the silver because I scored points after getting skunked and nearly skunked and tried some Tai Chi moves. I actually spun her out of the ring once. That is exquisite, Cindy. Bravo. And I do hope there's some video of this. I would love to see it. Everyone, especially me, was surprised by what I did with moving step. The corner judge called out, "Wow, you can move." I was highly amused. And you should be highly flattered. I'm genuinely impressed, Cindy. And I have to skip over those things because I already dealt with it. Unfortunately, she still had reach and mass and strength and skills in Kung Fu that I couldn't match. The last bout ended with her sweeping my leg out from under me, which is allowed. Any of us who have sparred anyway, wow. I went down like a sack of rocks and bounced my head off the floor. Not hard enough to injure, but I was stunned for a moment. The judges suggested we call it at that point, almost out of time. Well, that tells me that they have not properly prepared the setting, and you should have had some kind of mat under you if they're going to allow sweeps. That's not on you in any way, shape, or form. That's on the event providers, and frankly, I'm a little surprised. And we're all glad you survived. Me too. The corner judge, who had given me a lot of advice and encouragement throughout the day, came out to find where I learned to move like that. Most of my strategy had been twisting, turning, warding off attempts to catch hand or arm, and full-on retreat. I explained my fencing background, and he got it. Excellent. You're less used to grappling and avoid. Yeah. Basically, yes. What I love is I am so proud of Cindy. And let's see. Next up, might go to ICMAC next year and probably the 2025 Senior Games. I want to see that. I am so proud. And yes. All right. Before we go any further, a long time ago, I talked to a gentleman by the name we'll say the handle of Professor Peter, a truly accomplished swordsman who had some political difficulties in the Society for Creative Anachronism. I respect him, and I respect his fighting extremely, and I learned more from him in a single afternoon than I learned from a great many supposed teachers. And what he did was he did a class of what are you doing right? Because people will always try to correct what you're doing wrong, but very rarely will they tell you what you're doing right so you can maximize on it. And the response to this, and many of you have heard the story, some of you may not, was I was refusing his blade. And he found it very annoying because he could not get tacto. He could not get blade-on-blade contact to feel or control my blade. As soon as it got there, I was out. And I told him, well, you're substantially taller than me. You're substantially stronger than me. So literally any contest of leverage I would engage you in, I would lose. So why engage it? And it's really neat to see in a different martial art a very similar set of mentalities popping up. That's one of the good ways to know that something is applicable, that a concept will work. If you find it working in multiple arts, in multiple situations, it's good to know. And that's one of the reasons why cross-training is such an important thing for fighters and fencers, etc. And thank you, fencers. I have to put a note up there because I need to remember something else. And yes, the ogre that was cooking, yes, that's Silver Ogre. And he's wet. Yes, I had a shower right before the stream. And because of that, my hair is extra naturally curly and doing the little ringlet springy springs. I hope you find it amusing. Although I did try a couple Tai Chi moves, snake in the grass, grab an arm and drop to a pressing stance very low. Fair Maiden works the shuttle. Sneaky snake move. I goofed and closed my hands around her arm. Not allowed. Oops. Oh, God. That would be why I get kind of annoyed with some of the conventions of fighting. That right there. And Alex said, Johnny, my character, made the whole castle feel a disturbance from solitaire because I thought too loud. He appeared behind me, Lamau, and basically told me my place, basically. Probably going to show it to me later. Let's hope not. I would like your characters to survive to the next show, next series, but we will see. And close my hands. Oh, yes, we're there. And Alec, if you give me a mean joke, I'm proud of you for finally having thoughts anyway, Lamau. And Fair Maiden, I didn't get it executed properly because she off-balanced me first. It happens. So Alex says the thought involves Solitaire's wife, and if he's almighty, why didn't he just not let his wife die in the first place? Yeah, he said that out loud, not knowing he was in front of Solitaire. It's great. Sounds like you did well, Cindy. I have my own issues with push hands competitions, but I'm proud of what you accomplished. That is something I would love to hear you discuss, possibly on an episode of the Tea House Thesis's Saturday program. I believe it's every other Saturday on Bladed Thesis's YouTube channel. A good thing to follow. Now, I am going through the comments because I had a message that came through, and there is, before I do anything, I have a link to the details. So I will say dot USA fencing .org/details. Pardon, I have to do this to keep the letters from moving around. /tournaments /8907. All right. And that needs HTTPS. // Okay, so here's the link. Upcoming tournament for Division 1A and or 2A foil, F8 and Saber, Upper West Side, Chicago, but closest thing coming in the coming months. So it looks like there's a chance you get a chance to see our dear friend Al in a tournament. If not, that's the closest tournament to me. And I told him I would mention this, so I have mentioned it. Follow that link. And yeah, Bad Idea in the Castle, Ali Cindy. Because she's a strong independent who didn't follow his directions, Alec. And no video push hands, unfortunately. My teacher got video of the forms, though. Well, if possible, I would love to see it. It just is something I would find fascinating. And, well, now Sark is a sacrifice. Yes, that's game-related, but we'll let that go for now. Thanks, says Cindy to Thesis. Other ladies in my weight class were very skilled. They earned those medals for sure. Excellent. Admirable. And I admire your excellent example of sportsmanship. However, I have to do an example of loyalty and say, no, you deserved it. You deserved it. No, I love you, Cindy. I am unspeakably levels of proud of you. Not yet. They're going to get Sarka married off for the people who are following the game stuff. No, not yet. Hey, Johnny. And I was kind of bummed that I didn't score better, but it was a first go. I'm ultimately happy with how you did. You should. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, next point, and just that's game related. If you're interested, that's one for the RPG that I am writing. Will be publishing very soon, I hope, and I am running for the teenagers. It overlaps. Yo, Thesis, I'm glad you had a good time, Cindy. So I. Nitsu Jr., Nick, Nitsu Jr., if the Ochi ties. And cuttingsquare.com found the website for Alec. What is that about? We won't talk about how that abomination got made. Okay. Oh, you're fine, Kitty. Late happens. I was a couple minutes. Oh, for cutting drill using Myers Square. Interesting. Yes. And there's the links to that. Thank you, Thesis. I will be saving that now. Very helpful. And I posted it to the HFG Facebook page a couple of years back, so I'd scroll down to find it. And yes, folks, if you're interested in conversing with these people offline, well, off program, feel free to reach out to us through the public Facebook group. I will approve people coming in. Look for the Historical Fencing Guild. You'll find a very familiar boot, HFG. And no thanks necessary. And what the heck? Next show, I can talk about my issues with push heads competitions. Excellent. And Kitty said, I had an issue with one of my students, so I had to stick around after class. This happens. And honestly, I am proud to know and happy to know that you're out there giving the time and extra effort to do that for your student. And Miss Saren says, I'm thinking of finally taking self-defense classes, but when I saw the price tag, I will learn vicariously through you guys. All right. I will say, I don't know where you're located, Miss Saren, and if you're comfortable messaging me at some point offline, I can do some digging in your area. But many times local police departments will offer RAD, rape, aggression, defense training, which is a good start. A lot of it depends on what you want out of proper education. I will happily give you anything I can from my rather odd repertoire, both, in a public format like this or privately as needed. I'm all about helping the people I care about stay safe because I am not strong enough to protect you all. I haven't got those kind of superpowers, so the best I can do is give you every resource I can find to help you help yourself. She's learning Run Like Beach first. That's one of my 2 secret martial arts. And it's been a while. Some of you may not have heard them. The first martial art is, of course, Run Like Beach, which is where you realize you have been overmatched or in a negative situation, so you made a tactical advance to the rear, also known as Run Like Beach. If you are capable of running, that is very good to have. The second, of course, is Walk On Fu, which is the sacred art of waiting for your honorable opponent in the Walmart parking lot and running his beep over with a station wagon. That is a joke and a parody, YouTube. Don't come at me. That is called humor, and you and your bots need to develop some. Just all of that. My chat, you guys are awesome. You know it. Thanks. Anytime, Miss Saren. Anything I can do to be of service to you. I'm serious. I did a self-defense class through a local police department that went through my high school for self-defense. Excellent. I'm glad they're offering that. Old school, high school, don't go there anymore. Don't blame me. Actually, that website can work for just about any weapon, so Foxy could use it too. Yes. Aha! I'm too big to run. I practice Irish farewell. So you see, I've dabbled in some of the Irish arts. I'm not even being facetious. Irish quarterstaff is fascinating if you like greatsword. It actually crosses over quite a bit. I am totally familiar with shillelagh law, and I may have at points asked people if their mothers have a beer disappear while they're distracted. I have done that as well. Let me buy you a drink. You don't drink. No, but he does. Can I get him a beer? That is delightful, and I love it. There is a video. I found it many times. I'll bring it up again. It's a very established jiu-jitsu, I want to say BJJ practitioner, who goes to around gyms and also teaches what they call verbal jiu-jitsu. And you looking at me? Yeah, your shirt, it's awesome. Where did you get it? Or you looking at my woman? Yeah, is her name Agatha? I went to school with someone who looked just like her named Agatha. Are you related to somebody named Agatha? And you pick a name that's ridiculous. That you can disarm arguments using that mentality, and I'm very for that. Cindy has a grin at the Irish farewell, and I'm sorry, mine was not Irish. Well, it was a bit. It also involves the word sound oi and headbutts, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, that's part of the martial art that I picked up more from my buddy Jack. Uh, the Irish martial art of faku. Yes. And Alex says, I'm getting ice cream. Oreo ice cream. Lurking. Ooh, ice cream. I am now going to be getting ice cream after this broadcast because, thank you, I have the little mini cones. The drumstick cones. And Saren says, oh, hey, hitting on girls who try to start fights is very effective if you're a woman. Can confirm. And the self-defense class I took taught me how to disarm a sharp-edged weapon, among many other things. I would, at some point, we're going to have to talk to very safely field test that when it can be done in an environment, and only had to use those skills once. Excellent. I have had to use gun disarms successfully, and some things with knives, but that's neither here nor there. I'm glad to hear that you had the skill, and while it's tragic you had to use it, I am glad. It's best to avoid people of the kind of temperament that might be aggressive. Avoid loud and aggressive persons, for they are vexations upon the spirit. That is a possibly accurate quote from basically my favorite philosophical document. It's called The Desiderata by Max Ehrlichman, written in 1924, I believe. I used to have it up on my wall. I will have it up on my wall as the remodel is made possible. But I'm very glad you only had to use that once. So let me check something real quick to see if there's anything over here worth talking, because usually I do that. Oh, okay. No, I don't need that. Oh, all right. I get to talk about this. So let me bring this up real quick. It's a good skill to have. We're talking about weapons training and weapons trainers. Now, I am rather impressed with the harness systems. This is a very nice, excellent basic trainer. And it is on sale today over at PHA. And the Daga trainer for Arnis is a very good, reasonable knife trainer for learning things like disarms and aggressive use. And Cindy continues, better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. And Foxy concurs. Absolutely. So I do like finding these little sales for you guys where we can get something that's very useful at a discount through PHA. The award arm Kopesh is on discount. That's not bad. I will tell you, I am horribly tempted to get these medals for an upcoming event and just be able to issue them. I don't know Jude Liu's book, but Das Fecht book. Okay, Der Cage Jordan. Okay, I've heard of this. Looks very early period, but that's a decent price. $32 is not bad at all. Puffy Pants, no. Das Ortenberger book. Not a bad price. So there are actually some good sales on. If you have a small head, this is a really nice mask with back of the head protection, $20 off, so almost 10%. It's still pretty pricey. That's good. I'm glad we got to check into that. I'll go to the basic trainers because I know there's some new ones coming out. The Dragon Slayer will be coming out. This is for the Berserk fans, that will be monstrously expensive. These are still here. The Shashka Cossack Saber set and the Hungarian Saber set. Both of these, and all three now. If you guys have partners and you want to learn Saber style fighting from various systems, this is just a heinously good deal. I am tempted because I would love to see what I'm almost more interested in the focus training, because that focus is the shepherd's axe. And those are very close to walking cane length, so it appeals to me greatly. And let's see. I like that too. I like the way the books are set up. It looks like scissors. So please, if you're interested in that, go through my affiliate link. If any of you are interested in me going through these, let me know. I may just throw some money at that as is forthcoming. But there are a few trainers. There is a really good standard Copish trainer out here. Carabella? Really? That is the fabric. Hold on. Yes, it actually has the string crossguard. Exquisite. That is fascinating. See, the sub 50 price line is a great place to get starter trainers. I am kind of waiting to see the Civil War sword, simply because I double clicked. Sorry. I've been having a bit of nerve issues with the weather, but it is not in stock, but that is definitely one I am interested in, simply by the grip and balance, and see if I can get that in the string grip. We will see. COTS bloggers are great for everybody. Am I seeing anything jump out? Oh. Was ist das? Was ist das? Oh, no, the picture doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Oh. Is that the trainer? Or I think that's got to be the weapon that's based on. Okay. That's interesting. I am a sucker for all things Messer. It's like a katana that doesn't suck. Sorry, that was a bit of love for the people who desperately need it. I think that might be a better Messer trainer than that for the way things go. But there are some really nice trainers if you know what you're looking for. Okay, we've got some good comments in the background. And Alec, going back to the conflict he was talking about, was in a crappy neck hold, got out of it pretty swiftly, did a double take, knee knocked between the groin, fist up to lower jaw. Police got called, marked as self-defense on my end. I believe you told me about that, but that is remarkable. I have one hair. Okay, you see this guy? It's not quite long enough to tie back, but it is tickling and itching my nose. So, pardon me. And they don't play. Yes, that scissor layout is a really nice way to set things up. And we have alterations. Yeah, but you do have a right to protect yourself from dorks. The class told me, imagine the person attacking you is your worst enemy or as someone who's done harm to the past. It does things. Too bad the Dosic trainers I shared are so pricey. I was curious to know what people would think of them. Yeah, a lot of it depends on. Y'all, wait a second. Are you for kidding me? Are you for kidding me? Hold on. It's in stock. Details, man. Hold on. Let me explain why I'm going. There is a youth fetter trainer. Interesting. 27-inch blade. 27-inch blade. 30 cents. 1 pound. Now, I did run into a problem, and I'm going to talk about the youth trainer when I do the review, of the hilt flexing a bit. So I'm interested. But knowing that that's out there, that's interesting. Also, I note that the shoulder that it's held down is on the bottom. I would work. That fascinates me because I have some concerns. I may have to order one. We shall see. But those are good trainers, and yes, indeed. It was a jock and his buddies from school. The rest ran off, but I got attacked by them once before by them. Didn't know what to do then. Isn't it? I hate to say it, but isn't it nice to have the option? I'm glad you're able to do it. And I've been confronted by 4 dorks, handled it differently each time, but managed to prevent worse shenanigans each time. And that's all we can do is try to stay alive. Bullies tend to turn into chickens when you stand up to them. Can confirm. Oops. And I'm sorry, it's not loading. We're having a bit of technical difficulty. So I am going to close that down, stop sharing, and see if that doesn't help for the remainder of the program. And yeah, a lot of them transferred schools now, to my knowledge, got expelled because of harassment, and that happens, and they really do. Castile Armory product, Bohemian Ducks. Okay, let me see how much that is. Castile Armory.com/product. Sorry for the way I have to type. I'm sorry. It's the only way I can get my hands to work. /Bohemian Rhapsody. I see a little silhouette of a dusik. Scaramouche. Now we do the slam dango. And we'll see if that opens up, and we'll see what you are referring to. Oh, that is exquisite, but that is steel. Oh, and it has flex. With or without a mangle. That's one. Thank you for the new site. I am bookmarking that because that's one I haven't gone through. And I'll bring it up. I will also say, pardon the... I use an overlay to help with the... my dyslexia, so it may look a little odd to some of you. Hey, you have a great week, and stay safe. I'm glad everybody seems to have their finger still attached. But that's why most sites won't look the way they do when I bring them up. This helps me keep the letters where they're supposed to be. Meyer believes the simple trainer was one of the most important early trainers, large knives used for farming and utility, common in everyday. Our version follows the basic non-angled, and the function is historical pirate. It can be cut and ground. It is cut and ground from a single piece of 3/16 spring steel and features a simple cord wrap for comfort and a strong grip. The blade is 24.5, has a weight of 485 grams, and a point of balance 2.5 from the front guard loop. It is offered with a flex of F3, which I have to look up, at a swelled tip that will accept a rubber tip. Allow 3 to 4 weeks to ship. Friends, this is intriguing. This is extremely expensive. Also, let me add to cart because I want to see what the shipping. It's PayPal and calculate shipping. So I'm going to do this off screen because I don't need to actually give my address. And apparently it is not letting me set that up for, I'm going to have to look through this here. Thank you. I have a new site to peruse. It won't, because of the format, it won't let me look it up. Let's see now. My apologies. They're mostly 500. They're most of 500 megs. Cindy, just throw them in the secret ad folder on that I use for the ads on the Google Drive. You should have the link somewhere, and we'll be able, and I can download them from there, because then you know how to get them. Just don't look at the price. No, I need to look at the price, because that is something very appealing to me. And I wanted to learn self-defense after my first assault. Second one, I couldn't. I would have gotten overpowered, but I'm in a much better place now. Now I think I can take most of what comes my way. As you age and develop, yes. And once things are legal, we will be definitely involved. Debating on taking another self-defense class as a refresher. If you're thinking about doing it, you probably should do it. That's good, Alex, especially if it's free. I'll have to ask Amanda if she knows if she reach out if I should reach out and contact the police department's number itself. Give me a second. Hey, babe. Alec wants to know about reaching out to the police department to have another self-defense class. Amanda will look into that Monday, because maybe they can do something like that as part of a library program. And Castile stuff is great, but they're pretty pricey. I'm working up my strength, becoming in a better place physically. Excellent. If I remember right, the shipping to Indiana was between... Thank you! Thank you, Mr. Coker. 32 to 40. That is good to know, because that steel dusik intrigues me. And further, it will intrigue our own Trelana Bachman, who will be getting this as a message shortly. Let me just do this off screen so I don't forget, because that would be fascinating. There isn't time to get it here for the program. And speaking of that, as we wrap up my time with you, once again, the Gary Shakespeare Company has asked us to do a live demo at their play in New Chicago at Twin Oaks Park. I can't remember which play it is this season, but I do know that it should be July 27th, I believe, weather permitting. We are tentatively planning to do that, so I will be gathering my gear and heading down for that. It's free to the public if you are in that area. If you have the means to contact Joe Bachman or Trelana Bachman, please do so for more information. Ooh, that's nice. Hopefully the weather doesn't hit as hard this year. Yes. Last year it was about 120. I'm not being facetious. With literally 100% humidity. I was drenched. And check my folder in 45 minutes. Thank you, Cindy. But with that, we've gone past the hour. I really need to get something to drink and eat. So one quick announcement, because there is some interest over on the Nicholas Tucker channel. I have started a new program where I will be reviewing Nerf blasters and Nerf blaster related materials, as that is one of my great joys. And as anyone who has been a longtime student of mine tends to know, I am rather fond of using Nerf blasters as a means of checking if my students are paying attention. So I will be reviewing things like this wonderful little guy designed by Lethal Dynamics, purchased from Phonedemic on Etsy. Shockingly, I will lean towards the budget and small brand company blasters whenever possible, because that's how I go. And get munchies and drinkage. That's the plan. So with that all, my dear duckies, I'm going to say, keep your guard up, keep your eyes open, be kind to yourself and each other, and always thank you for supporting your local Swordmaster. I will be back next week with another video, hopefully in the near future, posting at least available as a secret video to the patrons, assuming I can get on, some live, some recorded drills and weapon reviews, things like that. And then usually a month later, I take anything I get, I release for them, and I make it released for you guys. I may be adding commercials to this program. I haven't decided yet. And I am actively seeking intros and outros to make it a little more professional and up the progression. If all goes well, as early as this weekend, you may see a very familiar background back up, as I am redoing everything here for my different programs. I'm excited about that and much more. Thanks for the stream. Absolutely, Saren, please reach out to me with anything you're requesting, and I will give you anything I have. And have a good night. Don't forget that Thesis has his show on his channel tomorrow night. Subscribe there. Please like, share, and subscribe to this. And always, guys, I love you. You should too. Toodles.